Welcome to 6th grade math. This is for lesson 144 and also 143 because of the test that you had in the last lesson. So this is pages 257 and to 260 and there's speed drills for lesson 143 and 144 for today. There's also homework on page 284 and it's just lesson 143. So only one of the two lessons had homework, which is good. Okay, we're going to start with reviewing some of our measurements that are English linear measurements, length or height. So 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I want you to say these with me. 1 foot equals 12 inches. 1 yard equals 3 feet. 1 yard equals 36 inches. 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. Okay. So 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard, 36 inches in a yard, 5,280 feet in a mile, and 1,760 yards in a mile. Some of the things to help you remember some of those different measurements is that the very end of this hot dog is an inch. The hot dog itself is a foot. And a baseball bat would be a yard, about a yard. And then you would see on a sign would be 5 miles to a stadium or something. They did a baseball theme on this one, which is kind of cool, I think. All right, so just something with height and everything. We might say a basketball player's height is 7 feet 3 inches. The measure is made up of feet and inches. We could just give the height in inches and say 87 inches. Or we could just give the height in feet and say 7 1/4 foot. 87 inches is not a good way to express his height since it is not commonly used, okay? So inches are usually used up to a certain height, usually for toddlers and babies, okay? And then once they start hitting a couple feet, then we stop using it as all inches. All right, so I'm gonna let you pause the video and go ahead and take your speed drills, and then when you come back, we'll get started on some different of the compound measurements. Okay, all right, I hope you did well on those. If you didn't take them yet, then hope you do well on them when you do take them. A compound measure has 2 or more units of measure. A compound measure can be simplified by converting the larger unit to the smaller unit. Can also be simplified by converting the smaller unit to the larger unit, okay? So there, 1 pound and 3 ounces equals 16 ounces plus 3 ounces would equal 19 ounces, okay? So 16 ounces are in a pound, so 16 plus 3 is 19, and we could say 19 ounces. But 1 pound and 3 ounces we could combine them, and 3 out of 16 would be 3 over 16 as our fraction, and 1 3/16 of a pound would be a way to simplify that. All right, to add compound measures, add like units, simplify answer if there are any of the larger unit contained in a smaller unit, okay? So right there says 2 hours and 15 minutes plus 1 hour and 50 minutes plus 2 hours and 5 minutes. And so we add up 15 plus 50 plus 5, we get 70. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. You see that there. So 70 minutes, how many minutes are in an hour? 60. So we can add an extra hour to the 5 hours, and then 70 minus 60 is 10 minutes. So we'd have 10 minutes on the one side. So we can cross out the 70 like they did, add 1 hour and 10 minutes, and we'll get 6 hours and 10 minutes, okay? And so that's the way to convert it when you've got, when you're adding, okay? So up here, we're going to go ahead and show, we're gonna convert 5 pounds, 4 ounces to pounds, and then we're gonna convert it to ounces, okay? So first we're gonna convert it to pounds. So 5 pounds, 4 ounces, so we have a 5, right? How many ounces are in a pound? 16, okay? So I'm gonna put 4 over 16 over here because I'm gonna reduce that because 4 and 16 are both even, and also I know that 4 can go into 16, okay? So if we can reduce this fraction, we wanna do that. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, 16 divided by 4 is 4, okay? So 1/4, so 5 and 1/4 pounds would be how we write that, okay? Now, to change it to ounces, we're going to have to go the other direction. So 5 pounds is equal to how many ounces? Okay? How many ounces are in 1 pound? 16, okay? So we're going to have to take 16, we're going to multiply it by 5, okay? So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 plus 3 is 8. So 80 pounds, and or 80 ounces, and we have to add 4 to it, so we get 84. So 84 ounces. All right, so that's how to convert it to ounces and how to convert it to pounds, okay? We're gonna add up some of these and subtract. I have several of them on the board. We're gonna do these, then I'm gonna let you know what to do on both pages, and then let you go to it, okay? 8. When we do this, we can just add in the columns. We can do 8 plus 0 is 8, plus 9 is 17. And put a 1 up here, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, 27 inches. And then feet. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 6 is 16, okay? Now, do we have any feet inside these inches, okay? How many inches are in a foot? 12, okay, we reviewed that before. So 12. Now, if we were to subtract 12 from 27, would we have, okay, let me put it over here, 27 minus 12. 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. Is there another 12 inside of that 15? Yes, so we're gonna add 2 feet. And we're gonna do 27 minus what? 12 times 2 is 24, okay? 7 minus 4 is 3, 2 minus 2 is 0. So we've got that we can cross out the 27 inches, and we can add 16 feet plus 2, and then 3 inches will be our inches. So 16 plus 2 is 18 feet, okay? So that's how to convert it to make sure that we get our most concise answer, okay? Now, if we've got hours and minutes, but we are subtracting, we have to make sure that we can subtract, okay? We might have to borrow. We can borrow with this, all right? So we've got 10 minutes, and we're subtracting 36 minutes. Are we able to do that? No, we're not. So we're gonna borrow. We're gonna take a whole hour away and add the minutes over here. So how many minutes are in an hour? Cross that out. 60. So 60 plus 10 is 70, okay? So now we can subtract. 10 minus 6 is 4. 6 minus 3 is 3. 34 minutes. 5 minus 2 is 2 hours. I'll give you a hint. When we borrow like this, we often will not have more than more minutes that equal up to hours, okay? Because it usually cancels out. You're not normally having to convert like you do with addition, okay? I'm gonna move this down because the last 2 problems are down below, so I want you to be able to see them if you can, okay? Over here we've got gallons and quarts, so 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, so we have 8 quarts, okay? 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 6 is 18 gallons, okay? 8 quarts. How many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts. Okay, so how many 4s are in 8? 2. Do we have any left over? No, we can cross that out and add 2 gallons, and our answer is 20 gallons. Okay, you see how I did that? Okay, don't forget that we're adding, even though, I mean, I did the adding, but sometimes you need to put that sign just to remember. Okay, over here we have one more subtraction. 19 inches minus 25 inches. Can we do that? No. Okay, by now you probably know when I do that, it means that we aren't. Okay, so how many inches are in a yard? We looked at that at the beginning too. 36 inches, okay? So we're gonna add 36 to 19. I'm gonna put it off to the side here so I can add it and without having extra numbers right there. 6 plus 9 is 15. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. So we are at 55 inches, okay? And 6 yards, don't forget to actually cancel, to borrow that to take it down to the next number, or you'll have the wrong answer at the end. 55 minus 25, 5 minus 5 is 0, 5 minus 2 is 3, 30 inches, 6 minus 4 is 2 yards, okay? Is 30 inches less than 36 inches? Yeah, so 2 yards and 30 inches, we can leave it just like that. Our subtractions, we didn't have to convert. We did with our additions, so that's kind of something that you can keep in mind, is with addition, you're probably gonna have to convert. You may not every time, but with subtraction, most likely will not have to convert. All right, so on this first page, you're number 1, you're converting to the smaller unit. So feet, converting to inches. Don't forget to add the smaller unit that's there, the 4 inches, to what you've got for 2 feet of inches, okay? So that you have that in your answer. Number 2, section 2 is converting it to the larger unit, so making a fraction out of it or a decimal, depending on what it is. And so I want you to do all of those sections and all of 3 and all of 4. So we're going to do all of this first page. If you turn over to the review, in 5 and 6, you can I'm just going to have you do A and B in both 5 and 6, okay? So not the green. And then in section 7, I want you to pick 4 of those to do, okay? All right. Okay, section or page 259 and 260, we just went over the subtraction, so borrowing and adding that. So we want you to do, let's see, I want you to do all of section 1. Section 2, you can pick 2 of them to do, or you can do all of them if you would like. Section 3, you don't have to do the green, which is D. Turning it over, section 4, do A and B. Section 5, do both of them. Section 6, go ahead and do that. And section 7, do that. You do not have to do any of section 8. Okay, don't forget homework in lesson 143 on page 284. And just do your best on this. And if you get stuck, let your parents know. If they need to contact me, they will. And I just noticed something about the board. I forgot to change this to a 6. And so this whole time you may have been thinking, getting distracted and seeing that 4 up there and thinking you're not 4th grade. And you're not. And so, sorry, I got distracted, but do your best, and we will see you in the next lesson.